My dear Divyavani viewers, Happy Christmas to you. Welcome to the Word of God program. In the last episode, I shared with you some thoughts regarding how the date of Christmas was fixed and how and what importance the date December 25th had, how all that was influenced by some cosmic positions and events like the solstice and the equinox, two dates where the position of the sun is something unique, and related to this there were some celebrations in Rome as well as in the rest of the pagan world, which perhaps the Christians took over. They found that the celebration of the birth of Christ must be on a significant date, and they had the precedence of especially the Greek custom of choosing some day that is meaningful and significant to celebrate the birthday. I quoted how Plato's birthday was celebrated by his disciples. So the early Christians must have thought of a significant date to celebrate the birth of Jesus, and that was done. And according to that, they also had a period of preparation, the Advent, various length of Advent and preparation in various countries. They are not that important how long it was and so on, but that the Christians felt there must be a period of preparation. And in some countries it was 40 days, in some other countries it was 30 days, and so on. And all those celebrations around Christmas, around the birth of Jesus, were actually so meaningful, and that also moves into the celebration of the New Year. Today I will talk about the New Year. The New Year is a feast celebrated all over the world, practically by all, irrespective of religion. But the celebration of the New Year again has a very long history, and a peep into those things perhaps will give us some idea how the New Year on January 1st evolved. Before I move into that, a word about the meaning of time. What is time? Philosophers have given various definitions. I don't want to bother you with those definitions, but perhaps it is worthwhile to ask yourself, what is time? Some will say time is measuring the past in relationship to the present, and so on. But the easiest way of looking at time, according to me, is time is movement. Movement forward. It never returns. Movement forward in such a way that the time that we consider as something so important is a one-way movement, and that movement is such that it never returns. From another angle, time is an invaluable gift God has given to each one of us. Time is not in our hands in the sense that we cannot produce it, we cannot prolong it. It is God's gift. But why did God give us time? What for? What is the purpose of it? If we look into that question, there are so many things that we can understand. First of all, we are given time to perhaps understand the creator of time, with the sense that we are not, in one sense, we are not masters of that time. We appreciate creation and we appreciate the Creator. We appreciate, adore and thank God for the great gift of time. Why did God give us time? Again, a little philosophical answer. Time is given to us to prepare ourselves for timelessness. Time is given to us to prepare ourselves for eternity, to move into the realm where there is no time. And in order to prepare ourselves for that timeless period, that timeless situation, that is eternity, and if we make use of the time given to us in the right sense, time becomes so valuable, a gift God has given us. And therefore, we must learn to appreciate and use the time given to us in the right sense. And God has also created certain events or things to remind us that we are moving all the time, never stops, it goes on. The sun, the moon, the earth, the climate, the various seasons, all these actually keep us reminding us that time is moving forward. And therefore, we should be aware of the fact that we learn to appreciate this great gift, learn to make use of this great gift, so that our life and the time given to us will be used in order to prepare our lives into timelessness, into eternity. Other details, even philosophical or scientific considerations of what time exactly is, perhaps is not that important. All that I want to bring to your attention is time is moving forward, and we should begin to appreciate and use time in the right sense, so that we all move into the realm of timelessness. That is what God intends by giving us time. For our consideration about the new year, everybody knows that a year is the length of time taken by the earth to go around the sun once. And to be precise, that time we normally just say 365 days or so. But to be precise, a year is 365 days, 5 hours, 49 minutes and 12 seconds. This is the time taken by the earth to revolve around the sun once. I will repeat, 365 days, 5 hours, 49 minutes and 12 seconds. That is precisely what an year is. Because of the movement or the revolution of the earth around the sun, we also have the various seasons, winter and summer and rainy season, the various climatic changes, the atmospheric pressure, the humidity, direction and speed of the wind, condition of the sea, and all those things are happening because of precisely this movement. We'll pause for a while. We'll come back very soon. Welcome back. I just mentioned the precise length of time for 1 year, that is 365 days, 5 hours, 49 minutes and 12 seconds. That is what we call 1 year. The year, because of all those little extras, there are difficulties in precisely giving the time of a year as we observe it. And therefore we have leap year and so on, about which I will talk about little later. What I would like you to really think of is the meaning of time itself and the way God has made arrangements for us to really consider and be aware of time itself. 1 year is rather long, but it is again divided into months and weeks and days and so on. The easiest to think of time is to think of the day and night, where we immediately realize what time means. The day and night are produced because of the position of the earth in relationship to the sun. But that gives us constantly an idea of the movement itself, an idea of time itself. In this particular situation of the movement of the earth around the sun, there are a certain atmospheric days or astronomical days that were always seen as important from very early time. And I would like to bring to your attention the solstice and the equinox, about which I already talked about when I mentioned about the date of Christmas. Solstice is the time or the day when the sun is farthest from the equator or nearest at noon to the earth. The easiest is to think of the farthest. And there are 2 days when the sun reaches the farthest point. In the winter, it will be the southern hemisphere, and in the summer season, it will be the northern hemisphere. When the sun is in the southern hemisphere, we call it the winter solstice, and the other one, the summer solstice. The winter solstice is on December 21st or 22nd. The summer solstice is on June 21st or June 22nd. These are 2 days that are important in the sense that the sun reaches one end and begins to return. And this is noticeable almost with our naked eye. The other point, other 2 days that are also equally important are called equinox. They are days when the day and the night are equal in length. This happens when the sun is straight to the equator. And this happens twice a year. The first one on March 2021 and the other one, the autumn equinox, on September 21, 22. There can be always a little difference of a day or so which can be accurately calculated. And because of these 4 special days of equinox and solstice, those days are considered as important. And when I explained about the fixing of the date of Christmas, I said the early Christians looked for a significant day, and that significant day they found was December 25, which was supposed to be, actually though there is a little difference, a couple of days difference in the calculation, but that was supposed to be the solstice. The lunar month, there is a solar month and lunar month. Solar month is easy. It is practically, let us say, you divide 365 by 12 and you get the correct solar month. Again, there are slight differences in the length of time, and therefore it is not easy to give the precise length of it in the normal calculation. Whereas the lunar month is the interval between 2 new moons, which more or less calculates to 29 and a half days. That is what a lunar month is. With all these, I would like to place before you the history of the New Year celebration. The New Year celebration as a festival day was apparently first appeared in Mesopotamia, that is the present Iraq, somewhere in 2000 BC. In 2000 BC, they began to celebrate the New Year in Mesopotamia, the present day Iraq. They celebrated the New Year in that way, but strangely enough, in various parts, the New Year was on different days. So much so that in the whole country, practically every day was a New Year. So all those discrepancies are there, but something that is worth noting is that the early people already realized the importance of the beginning of the new year. But the beginning of the new year again was not a fixed date, unfortunately. In the Roman Empire, the new year was actually the day when the new consul took charge. It could be any day. And that was the beginning of the year, because the Roman system of calculating years was like this. And they always said the third year of this consul, the fifth year of this consul, and so on. So that was the calculation in the Roman Empire. And it always went like this, either the consul or the emperor. And because of that, there was no fixed New Year, so to say. The New Year was the day when the emperor or when the council took charge, and that became the New Year for the Roman Empire. The Roman calendar, they also fixed the calendar, but the early calendar fixed March 1st as the New Year, not January 1st. That came much later. The year was from, let us say, April to March, or in some places from March 1st onwards. So that was a confusion when we tried to fix the calendar and things like that. So the earliest calendar that we have and what the Romans used, that was beginning with March. That they had a calendar like this is still retained in our calendar. Many may not know, for example, at one stage in the Roman Empire, the Roman calendar had only 10 months. 10 months, and the names given to the various months still retained in our calendar really indicate how they had the various months. For example, September. September simply means the 7th month. Septem in Latin means 7. October means 8th month, because that is taken from octo, which simply means 8. November means 9th month. Novem means in Latin 9. And December is the 10th month. Decem in Latin means 10. So notice how they give the names to the months. September, the 7th month. October, the 8th month. November, the 9th month. December, the 10th month. And that was the end of the year. At one stage, this is the way they had. And then, in order to sometimes make the year coincide with the position of the sun, they would give a few extra months, and that made the year in a way coincide with the position of the sun. We will continue in the next talk. Imagine the position of the sun, which always enables us to actually have a sense of time. Thank you for listening to me. God has given us this great gift of time. Let us use it.